ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Welcome back to Voltas. FreshAir Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. Rajasthan were put into bat. Well, they came into bat and they were firing from the word go. All the three top order batters got runs. Yashasvi Jaiswal 67, Parag 43, Sanju Samson 38. They've gotten to 205 in their 20. I've got Lisa and Harsha with me. Lisa, Harsha, the average score here is 167. So 205 in their first innings. They're going to be happy going back into the dugout.
Sometimes it's like before an economic boom, you say average salaries were only so much. I think with a lot of our grounds that is happening as well. Because while it's not coming on as well as a total of 205 would suggest, this is definitely not 160. I think it was a perfect 186 wicket. Anyway. But I thought they batted really well. I thought you mentioned the top three getting runs. It's absolutely vital. But also I think they got their batting order right.
Well, Lisa, 29 T20 games have been played here. This is just the third time they've gone above 200. Like he said, this was that economic boom and then there's been this strike rate and run boom. So things have changed a lot. But do you think they've got enough? Because we know that Punjab have got the firepower in their batting.
Maybe their curator has been listening to the coaching staff.
Maybe they sent him to Lucknow and brought him back.
So, like I said, I feel like pitches around India are a little bit more conducive to the batters. Some grounds which have normally taken spin or a little bit slower, I agree, there's still something in it. Otherwise, we'd see a 280. And that's the difference now, right? I think the new norm is if there's nothing in the pitch and it's straight and it slides onto the bat, we're looking at 250 plus. If there's something in the pitch, that's a 180, 190, 200, right? Depending on if you can stitch some partnerships and you've got a set batter in, which is what Rajasthan had.
And that's what we spoke about in the comm box. And Harsha, we spoke about how the top order had to get firing. You said they've got their batting order correct, which helped them a lot today. But Yashasvi Jaiswal, he gets those 67 in 45 balls. Pretty quintessential Yashasvi knock with more sixes, hitting it all around the park.
And I think his last 15, 18, 20 runs came a lot quicker. Because at one point his scoring rate wasn't that much, but Sanju Samson did that. So from that point of view, they worked well as a partnership, getting 89 in 10 overs or thereabouts, and then 115, 116 in the back 10. So it worked perfectly. I think they played in groups. They said, okay, Samson and Jaiswal will open the batting. 3 and 4 are flexible, depending on right and left, and 5 and 6 are flexible. So today they had Hetmeyer coming up, Jurel back. They had Parag batting at 3. But Lisa's point is so valid that if you have a set player in the last couple of overs, then you get the kind of over that Stoinis conceded with Parag hitting all those runs. So I don't know. I think 205 is a good score, on this track.
But we spoke about how they had the wickets in hand to kind of just launch pad after the 10th over. They just lost 2 wickets. So they had enough of wickets in hand, which is why it's just so important for those openers to get going, isn't it, in T20 cricket?
It is. We've seen it in previous games, right? And the one earlier today, that if your openers don't set the tone in the power play, then the opposition can kind of go to their plan A and they know what to do. When they're tested a little bit more, then they go, oh, is it B, C or D? I'm not quite sure. And sometimes you get that little error, that little mistake. Bowlers get a little bit confused, a little bit muddled sometimes when the ball's travelling to all parts. So it's important to kind of get off on the right foot. It just sets the tone for the batting innings, which is exactly what Rajasthan were able to do. And I like that each batter, when they come in and you can kind of look at their strike rates, Parag in the end went 172, Nitish Rana 171, and then even Hetmeyer 166. So whilst it's not a lot of deliveries at the back end, but they know that's what their job is.
Yes.
They've got to come in and go straight away and find the boundaries, and that they were able to do it. today.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at those contributions,
The
20
rules
of
are
12, 20 of 12, 13 of 5. You're thinking, yeah, it's okay. It's 20 and 12. That's actually what, 33 of 17 balls, striking at about 200. That could be the difference of a 40, 50 run swing. So I think because this game is still in a bit of flux, there was this theory that started about it last year or year before, saying pack your side with batters. Doesn't matter if you lose wickets, keep going. This year, I think we're starting to discover once again that keeping wickets never goes out of fashion.
Yeah.
You can't keep wickets and score at 7-8 and over. But if you're keeping wickets and therefore you've got a set batter at the end, you're still seeing a difference of about 20 runs. So the second innings will be a very good example if Punjab keep playing the way Punjab want to play, to see whether they chase 205 down going their way. Because Royals have played a certain way and I think have got a very competitive score.
When you talk about playing a certain way, and Lisa also saying that, they knew their roles were defined to them, even the middle order that came in. I was just curious about that role definition after Butler went out. Was that pressure on Jaiswal that we saw in the past 2-3 games, and that pressure's off him now?
Yeah, I think there's an expectation that he comes out of the shadows, right? That he's now the big guy. He's the one that should be finishing off the innings. And, yeah, things didn't start off well for him. And obviously everything happening in domestic cricket and a lot of conversation. As much as people say it doesn't distract you, of course it does. That unsettledness does kind of flow into your cricket. So maybe now decisions have been made and he can just play freely, mind clear. And we saw that today. You even saw how frustrated he was when he got out as well. Like you felt like a lot of the players, even Sanju Samson, they're like, I've left runs out there. I know I should have gone bigger, which is a good thing for Rajasthan.
But Riyan Parag will be happy because he didn't have that pressure at all. Comes out, gets 43 in 25. But Harsha, you have to talk about that flick down the leg. Just so beautiful to watch it. So wristy. So typical Indian, and those Indian wrists that you were talking about.
And it started the previous ball. The previous ball, which he hit over mid-wicket, might almost have forced the bowler to bowl a fuller length over there. And he seemed ready for it. But yeah, look, sometimes that shot looks very good. It's often to the smallest boundary. Over there, but still was hit with great panache. Is that the word? Panache? Great style? Elan?
You know all the words. You are our dictionary, so you tell us.
I mean...
The dictionaries don't come on the board. Anyway. But it was a very stylish hit. And then there was one more towards the end. So they really maxed that last over. I like Parag in the second half of the innings. Because he's not a slogger. His game has come up really, last year was his breakout year.
Yes.
And when he can bat like this, it makes such a difference. So today he batted 3 because of the right-handedness, and the openers had batted 10 overs already. So I think he's wonderful at the back end of the innings.
You're talking about Riyan Parag and his style. Something that wasn't very stylish today were the 2 sloppy drop catches, and they're not going to be happy about it, Punjab, because when your bowlers are going a bit expensive, you want your fielders to support you, and that didn't happen today. But Yuzi, a bit of a concern, you think, for Punjab? Again, expensive today.
Yeah, expensive and costly drop as well. Was going straight down his throat, and he literally lined it up, right? And then right at the last minute, it's got big, and those lights are really getting in the way. So I don't know.
Are you being uncharitable and saying that was a reaction to dropping a catch?
Sometimes.
He won't be the only one to have done that.
So, sometimes, when you bowl a wide, right, the bowlers look back at the scuff mark. Oh, Jesus, I couldn't quite get my footing right. We know all these tricks, right? But, it is a concern for him because obviously changed franchise, there's an expectation, getting older. Is he still going to play an important role? There's still enough time in this competition. And we also know that the pitches tend to be fresher, newer, harder, greater for fast bowlers, potentially at the start. And then as they get a bit more tired, that's when the spinners start to come into their own. But you've got to play well enough to stay in the 11 for that to happen.
The catch wouldn't hurt him just as much if he had gotten that wickets column going a little bit ablaze, which didn't happen. 3 overs, 32 for Yuzi, and didn't get any wickets. Lockie did get those wickets. 4 overs, he's given away 37, picked up those 2 wickets. But Harsha, just everyone pretty expensive besides Maxwell.
You know, you look at Stoinis, I thought he bowled his first 2 overs really well. I think it was 2 overs for 12 at one point. There was a phase when Ferguson was bowling and Stoinis was bowling, when it seemed a bit like when Hardik was bowling yesterday, that they were going hard into the pitch and the ball was gripping and it was difficult to bat. I think they showed at that point what the surface could be like, but I think they just conceded too many at the back end.
The last 5, 63 is what you said.
Yeah, last 4, 55. So I mean, so that was really where it hurt them. But I was impressed with Lockie, like the knuckleball, and so anything around that 120 into the pitch, change of pace was effective. You got to land it. So which also tells me as well, there's no due. Because for him to be able to do that later on in the innings and be able to execute means that the ball is dry as a bone.
I mean, we normally look at the wheels of the buggy that goes around to see if they're wet, or if, like, we're sitting in a studio, just see if there's a towel around.
Yes.
We don't get to see what happens between overs. If you're at the ground, you can see that. But I didn't see any towels going around between overs.
But we were all surprised that Maxwell just bowled that one because he's been bowling well. Not been batting too well, but he's been bowling well. So surprised that he didn't at least get in 2 or 3.
What do you think?
Well, he's bowled 2, then 3. I feel like he's really there for just a matchup. Like use Maxi for batter A, B, C, D, and this side maybe not his matchup. Other teams maybe. So let's see if that changes over the course. But I think they're using him sparingly, purely based on data.
How's Punjab going to approach this? Because that power
thrilling
play?
to see. Will be really thrilling to see because most probably Priyansh Arya will come in. Prab Simran bats one way. So their top order is geared to batting one way. So it'll be interesting to see will they keep going if they suppose suddenly 2 balls get knocked up in the air and they're 20 for 2. Will they keep going? So I'm very interested in seeing how Punjab chase this, especially the ball grips a little bit. And then I'm just seeing if they have the tactical skills and just the batting skills to be able to adapt and play differently.
Well,
Shreyas Iyer does. He might well be the key to this chase.
Yeah.
But I'd be interesting to see how the others go.
Priyansh is in. He will be opening with Prab Simran. But again, just a little bit of lack of experience up top. They're getting those runs. But like you said, Shreyas will be the key for this chase for Punjab.
Yeah, he will. I mean, what he's been able to do already, the 90, the 50. The thing is that the top 3 have had at least a good knock, right?
Yes.
So they've had success already. And they didn't even need Stoinis and Maxwell and anyone in the second game. So they haven't really been tried and tested. This will be the first game. I feel that we're going to see the real Punjab side. Are they good enough to chase down? Because they've got, on paper, it looks like they've got a team that can actually chase this down. That's why it is going to be fascinating, the tactics. Is Ricky going to throw someone else up?
Like they did with Nihal Vadera the other day.
Potentially. Just to upset the apple cart or to keep the momentum going. There's a few options that they can do.
Well, Punjab, like you said, Harsha, will want to make Molanpur their fortress because it's going to be very important to them.
It'll be a good test of that.
Yes.
But see how deep they bat. Just look at that Punjab batting lineup again. I've seen Marco Jansen come and get 50 of 20 balls.
Yes.
Chahal is out. So after Jansen is batting at 9. We haven't even seen Suryan Shedge. Every time Mumbai needed quick runs in the Mushtaq Ali, he was going and scoring those. So if Jansen is batting at 9, then that tells you that they've got a lot of power all along the lineup. They could keep going hard. So very interesting to see how they go about it.
Okay, then. Keep going hard is what Harsha said.
They could, I'm saying. I don't know.
But
I'm
how much
fascinated
are
to see
you
how.
going to go with in the power play? If
Okay,
you're
I'll
saying
start.
keep going hard.
Okay, I'll start and I'll play a game with myself. Every time I'm about 2 or 3 short. So
go
But
2
you
a bit higher than what you
right
want.
now. You were like 20 short.
no. Yeah. When the last over started, I was bang on. That was about an over short. Okay, so I want to say 52. I'll say 56. No, 59.
Oh, he's gone higher than what he went.
Okay, 1 second. You might want to rethink. Priyansh is out.
59.
Ooh, Priyansh has just gotten out. You heard that, right?
Yes, I heard that, and Jofra Archer steaming in.
Yes.
But, we stick to our word.
All right. I hope you don't regret that word, but Lisa.
If we do, if it works out that way, I'm not doing the post-game show.
65.
What? Archer steaming in.
Because she was making fun of me for going too high at 59. I think she's going 32.
No, I'm going 55.
Go 32, come on.
I'm going 55. But,
Always Sandy.
50. What did you go?
59.
yeah, 55.
come on.
You're 65.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
What?
guys, we've got 50 to 70 covered.
Got it.
So someone's going to win. But if Harsha doesn't get a win, I hope he doesn't leave us. I don't want this chair empty because I really like both of them together. So for that reason
I'm in
alone-
Hyderabad tomorrow.
No, you have to still do the post-match.
Yeah,
I said
there's
don't
still-
leave for the post-match if you don't win. All right, guys, please write in and tell Harsha Bhogle not to leave. We will make sure he wins at least one today because we want him to. I don't know if he's going to win, if Punjab's going to win or RR is going to win. We will give you all the updates at the 10 over point. Thank you so much for watching. Voltas Fresh Air Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ